Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your boy Mythical. Now, before I start, I just want to say that only about 7% of you guys are actually subscribed to the channel. So if you guys could please drop a like and a sub, that would be awesome. So anyways, I'm going to be doing my own PvP weapon tier list today. Now, before I start, I just want to say that this is all based off my personal opinion, which means that in no way is it 100% accurate. It's just based off my personal experience, and I'm fine if most people disagree. Anyways, I'm going to start with D tier. Now, personally, I think these weapons are the worst in the whole entire community. We have the Prestige Rocket, which honestly just lacks in damage, and that it's not really good for combo extending or just has any combo extenders at all, which is why I think belongs in D tier. I'm sure most of the community could agree with me on that. Next up, we have Shield. Now, personally, I just think that this belongs in D tier, just because of the fact that it has extremely low M1 damage. And then lastly, we have Bells. Now, I don't really need to explain this that much, just because Bells overall isn't really a PvP weapon. It's mainly just for healing. That's its sole purpose. It came out during the Christmas event. Now, anyways, here we have C tier. Now, in my personal opinion, I think these weapons are decent, but not good enough to be in the mid-range. Now, I'm sure a lot of people will disagree with the first one, which is Gravity Blade. I feel like Gravity Blade is only good if you have Zushi, which is why I did decide to put it in C tier. And then Fan, honestly, decent, but it just lacks in M1 damage, which is why it belongs in C tier. Next up, we have Scissors. Now, in my personal opinion, I generally just don't think Scissors is that good. It's not like terrible that you can't use it, but compared to the other weapons, I generally just think that it's bad. And then after that, we have, I think this is the Cupid one. Is that what it's called? Yeah, it's a Cupid one. Honestly, the Cupid one, in my personal opinion, is one of the worst weapons in the game. It doesn't belong in D tier, but I just generally just don't think it's good for PvP at all. And then Flowers. One thing that I have to mention though is that they're all part of C tier. Like, I see them equally. I'm not trying to make it seem like one is worse than the other in this tier, even though Gravity Blade would be better. But in this instance, I would say Flowers is definitely better than Cupid one. Just wanted to say that. But like I said, Flowers is a pretty simple weapon in my personal opinion. It has that simple combo extender, and it lets you regain stamina, which is why I think it belongs in C tier. And the M1 damage, I think the M1s are kind of weird, which is why I would even put it in C tier. If they were better, it would be an easy, like, middle tier, but I think it belongs in C tier. Anyways, moving on, we have B tier. Now, in my personal opinion, I think these are the weapons that are the most perfectly balanced in the whole entire game. First up, we have Elohammer. Elohammer honestly doesn't really have good M1 damage, but it's a very great combo extender and probably like one of the most basic weapons for PvP. Same with Lancer. I think Lancer is a pretty great, and honestly I think the weapon's kind of underrated. I know a lot of people don't use it, but if you know how to combo extend with it correctly, it can be pretty useful. And then next up, we have the Cupid Battle Axe. Pretty simple. I actually really like this weapon, even though I don't use it a lot. Next up, we have Pole. Now, Pole honestly isn't really that good. I meant Pole, by the way. I didn't say Paw, just in case anybody thought I did. But I think Pole is a really great weapon, but only if you either have Mink or Guro. If you don't, then I wouldn't really recommend using Pole. But like I said, overall, it's just like, it's decent enough that it belongs in B tier. And then after that, we have Basento. Now, in my personal opinion, I think Basento is one of the most basic but also great weapons. I just think it's like pretty fun to use. The M1s are super satisfying, and even though it's not extremely easy to combo extend with, I just think the M1s are perfect, which is why it's in the middle of B tier too. Scythe has pretty fast M1 damage, also a really good weapon. I don't think I really need to go more in depth in that. And then Cutlass, also really good, great for combo extending, even though it doesn't really have high M1 damage. Kraken Greatsword has always been like one of those it's probably like the most basic weapon in the whole entire game, but it's still simple enough that it's good. And then Kirabachi, in my personal opinion, I generally just think is kind of underrated. After playing Battle Royale for a while, I just saw a lot of people use Kirabachi, and I just think it's a really good weapon and pretty underrated. And then same with Golden Hook. Even though the first move doesn't really do a lot, I think that second move just really sets it apart and allows it to be in B tier because it has a high amount of damage. And that's about it for B tier. Next up, we have A tier. Now, these are the weapons that I personally just believe are super great in the game, but aren't like amazing But like I said, this is all just based off my personal opinion. World Ender is pretty good. It's great for Battle Royale. Trident has really fast M1 speed, same with CC. I think these two are really great weapons. And then after that, we have Varroa Spite. Now, I'm not even sure if I pronounced that correctly. I'm not gonna lie. But I really like this weapon. But at the same time, I just feel like the M1 speed wasn't as great as I thought it would be. But overall, I would say it's still a pretty fun weapon to use. When the M1s are kind of slow though, I feel like it's a little bit harder to combo extend with Ball's Head. But it's still a pretty great weapon. And then lastly, we have S tier. Now, in my personal opinion, I think these weapons outrank every other weapon in the game. Coming in at the top, I think the new Lancer is practically the best weapon in the whole entire game for PvP. And then Soul Cane. Soul Cane's also pretty good. It has that counter. And then you can easily combo extend it. And then the gauntlets, also pretty good. I see a lot of good PvP players use this. It's like the perfect thing for a fist build. And then lastly, we have Shisui. Shisui, I think, is generally like deserves to be an S tier. It's one of the greatest weapons in the game. But that's about it for this video, guys. I just want to say that this is based off my personal opinion. Make sure to drop a like and a sub, and I'll see you guys in another video.